Hey everybody, and welcome to the Three Gun Show. I'm your host, Dave Hartman, and this is episode 260 with Washington's own Tim Ramberg. And we talk about Triggrcon, which we were at the time, so of course we talked about that, shooting in the Pacific Northwest, and what can die in the gun industry, plus much, much more. We get into Tim's background and how he got into shooting as well, which is a pretty interesting story. We've got AMax pulling co-host duties in this one, so you know it's going to be a good time. Before we get into that, though, a little bit of housekeeping. Last week, I published two, a couple videos on YouTube. One, a first look at the IWI Masada pistol, which was the pistol that I was shooting when I took second in patrol at the Colorado 3-Gun Championship. I was shooting a pre-production prototype, which was kind of fun. And that dropped at Triggrcon, and it was a huge hit at Triggrcon. People seem to really love the pistol, so if you're interested in that, check it out. Made a sweet video on it. Spent a lot of time. You're going to like it. I did it just for you. And second, a fun video that I did with the Vortex crew at Triggrcon. Lots of laughs in that video. Lots of subtle jokes. So if you're smart, you'll catch them. And to see if you're smart, go to 3gunshow.com/YouTube and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm really enjoying making videos. It's really kind of a good time. It takes a long time to do for me, especially since I'm new at it, but I enjoy it, and I want to do many, many more, so I'm trying to grow that channel within the 3-Gun Show empire. So help me out. Tell a friend. All right. Quick update on my schedule, at least through the month of August here. This weekend, I'm shooting the Wyoming Governor's Match in Cody, Wyoming. Next weekend, I'll be at the Vortex Extreme in Douglas, Wyoming. Now, this is all if you're actually listening to the show real time. So look those up. And then at the end of the month, I'll be at the Jeff Kirkwald Memorial Match in Forest Lake, Minnesota. And there are still spots available for that match. So if you're interested or think you might be, go ahead and check it out on Practice Score. Just search for Jeff Kirkwald, Kirkwld. The Kirkwald's a fun match, and I'm excited to be back on the team and helping out with it again this year. I was explaining to someone recently what the Kirkwald is, and I started out by explaining that it is a special match. It's definitely very special. You shoot 4 stages on Saturday, which seed you into a shoot-off bracket for Sunday, and then on Sunday, the entire match shoots off for the title. To my knowledge, this is the only match in the country where that happens, where like not only do like you just see the best guys out there shooting in the shoot-off, like mid-pack guys like me, lower-pack guys, everyone in between, all the gals too, y'all get to be in the shoot-off, which is really cool experience. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, to my knowledge, it's the only match in the country where this happens. It's a unique experience, and you can be a part of it as well by heading out to Minnesota on August 24th and 25th. Come see me. I'll be there. High five, and maybe beat me in the shoot-off. Who knows? So speaking of the Vortex Extreme, let's talk about JP rifles, specifically the JP LRP07 in 6.5 Creedmoor. If you've been paying attention to the show, you know that I'm going to be shooting the LRP07 at the Vortex Extreme, and I'm going to be shooting with my pal Mike Griswold from Rocky Mountain Targets. That was also the co-match director of the Big Bend Blast and Dash 5K Run and Gun, which we did last year in Colorado. Also a very long match name, by the way. Well, today, which is the Tuesday before this show drops, I was in Colorado. It's July 30 for people living in the future. I was in Colorado, so Mike and I headed out to the range to Zero Chrono and practice a little bit, which is kind of interesting because it's a team match, so you're calling each other's shots through your scopes, calling corrections, things like that. So you need good communication. And we're freaking ready, man. That JP LRP is such a freaking joy to shoot. It's amazing. With the 6.5 cartridge and the tuned recoil and gas system, there's hardly any recoil, which makes it much easier to watch your impacts through the scope and call corrections if you need to. Not to mention, just like having the rifle sitting on the bench, several passersby remarked like what a good-looking rifle it is, and we were in a place where there was a ton of rifles. It's not like there was any shortage of rifles, but that was the one they were remarking on because it's a good-looking rifle. It's beautiful, and I'm freaking pumped to shoot it in a match, and that's only about a week and a half away now. The 6.5 Creedmoor was an awesome choice, I think, because I don't currently reload, and there are many different commercial cartridges available. So thumbs up, glad I got that one. My pal Mike's going to be shooting his JP LRP 07 in 308 at the match, and we're gonna have a good time. If you're looking to pick up a JP of your own or just do some research, maybe you're looking at getting some parts, check them out at jprifles.com. You will not be disappointed. All right, that's all I've got for you for now. So enjoy this week's show with Tim Ramberg. Guys, welcome to the show.
What's up, Dave?
How you doing, Adam?
I'm good.
You enjoying the conference?
Yeah. So is this a conference or a convention?
Convention? I mean, con is
or
in
is
the
it
name.
a concept? It's Triggrcon.
It's Triggercon.
Someone asked me where the conference was.
It's like con, it's like Comic Con, but for guns.
Right. Now, is it
Less
a
Star
comic
Trek.
convention or is it a comic conference?
Ooh.
That's my question.
These are the questions.
What is it, Tim?
I don't know. I haven't seen anyone dressed up. So
You're dressed up. You got a costume on.
Oh, you got me. Shooting jersey.
Look like
guilty.
a pro shooter. Yeah, we got Tim Ramberg here with us today. Tim, it's great to have you on the show, man. We're at the tail end of day. What do we call this? Day one. Day one of the
We'll
con.
call it day one.
Day one of the con. We already did range day, which was a good time. And we're sitting in the lobby, taking a load off, and we're gonna talk about some 3-gun.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. Should we lead with our fun topic?
Well, first, Tim hasn't been on the show before, so maybe a little bit about Tim, who you are, what you're about.
Tim, who are you when you're not on the range?
Who am I when I'm not on the range?
What do you do when you don't shoot?
When I don't shoot, I am happily married. My wife is a Ironman triathlon athlete, and two of us are very active. If we're not shooting or she's not racing, we're out hiking, taking pictures, enjoying the beautiful Northwest.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
She's coming to dinner with us tonight, which is going to be good.
Is she?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, date night with us.
Yeah, we haven't told her that yet.
Yeah,
so.
she doesn't know about it.
Surprise!
Good thing this is recorded, so you have time to tell her.
Yeah. Then professionally, you're an engineer. Is that correct?
Correct. My day job is a software engineer. So hotbed of
So this is kind of your
tech in
area
there.
then.
Yeah.
You grew up around here though, right?
I did. I'm from here. Born and raised.
Is this like being in Kentucky where they have to be coal miners? You have to be in tech if you grow up around here?
Tech or coffee?
Yeah.
But
That's a good
At
point.
least you have a choice.
a little bit of choice. I mean, I miss the coffee bug, so it had to be tech for me.
So it was ones and zeros for you.
Nice. So software engineer, like what kind of software engineering do you do?
Developer, work in mobile computing.
Oh, okay.
In an advanced development
Like
group.
apps and stuff?
Apps and lower layer.
What's lower layer? Talk to me like I'm 5.
Actually working on the operating system itself.
Okay.
So working with Android. We do OEM products and build the whole stack ourselves. So anything from driver layer to app layer, depending on the year, I'm getting involved with it.
Gotcha. Okay. How long have you been doing that?
Almost 10 years.
Is that something you like, or is it like dreadful to go to work every day?
It's something I like. I got into engineering because I enjoy solving problems, and
Is that why you got into shooting?
that retains the fun. Yeah, shooting's similar. For me, shooting was more an outlet for competition. I mean, you go to your day job, not really in a heated competition to see who can write more code in a given day.
Yeah. It's not like sales.
Nope, very different. But growing up, I'd always been an athlete, played a lot of baseball into college, and when that ended, there was this void, and when I discovered shooting, that began to fill the void for me, and really have something that motivated me, something fun, something different, kind of get away from work and do something my own.
When did you discover shooting?
Discovered shooting, well, I'd always been involved in shooting as a little kid. My great uncle was really into hunting rifles. He would actually do the checkering on the wood portion of them. So as a young kid, I remember getting my first bolt action 22 and He had an underground range in his backyard, so I learned to shoot there, and but not shooting the way we think of shooting. Shooting.
It's like marksmanship skills.
Yeah,
kind of
I
thing.
mean, you might 25 rounds in an afternoon was a lot of ammo, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, not 25 rounds in the first couple seconds of a stage.
Yeah.
But I got introduced to USPSA pistol shooting originally. I went and watched a local match, and
There's gun bunny action in.
oh my!
We're seeing how the sausage is made. I'm going to take a photo of this real quick. This is how they do it for the gram, everyone.
And that's more likes and followers than I'll ever get.
Yep.
I mean, that's TTI, but I feel like she's the B squad because I don't recognize her.
Please refer to the show notes for a photo. And you'll see what we're talking about. But we just saw Instagram magic being made. Like, that is how it's done.
Yeah.
And now they're back to their normal lives.
I mean, I could make booty shorts like that.
We clearly did not dress appropriately for
You
today.
should wear booty shorts tomorrow.
I mean, if you wear booty shorts, do you get the combat? Like, do they give it to you right away? Does the combat master come right away, or do they send it to you in the
I
mail?
don't like this line. Let's go back to Tim.
All right.
Back to you, Tim.
Oh man, where were we? So yeah, getting
25 rounds in an afternoon.
Yeah,
with
getting
your grandfather.
started
Discovering
shooting.
USPSA.
Went and watched a local match. Happened to be one of the top local open shooters there. His name was Nick Helterline. Was absolutely blown away by open guns and the speed people could shoot, the accuracy they could shoot.
Was that around here?
This was video games becoming real. Yeah, it was about 20 minutes north of the conference here, and
So, was the first set of gear that you bought to take to seriously do USPSA, was that open gear, or did you buy another set of gear before that?
half open gear. So
Okay.
all I had was a single stack 1911 and 45.
Yep.
But I'd seen the open shooter and was like, I think that's where I want to go. So I actually bought a CR Speed open rig, open holster
For your 1911?
for my 1911.
Yes.
And I shot it in limited 10 for 6 months with
Yep.
10-round mags. I was like,
Yep.
if I like this, then I already have the belt that I'll need. I can upgrade to an open gun
Oh, that's
later.
so smart.
And so yeah, I actually, first 6 months I didn't shoot. I shot a single stack, but I never shot single stack. I shot limited 10 with a
With a
1911 45. Yes, I was
Can you
that
do that
guy.
with a 9mm?
You can.
Yeah,
minor.
Limited division. You'd be
Oh,
minor.
okay.
So I was
So
major.
40 is the way to go in limited 10? Is that what I'm hearing?
40 or 45. You want to make major power factor.
All right.
Maybe limited
then
10
40.
itself is not the way to go, but that's a
That's
different
what I'm
conversation.
thinking. Yeah.
So limited 10 came out of the Clinton ban
Right.
era.
It catches a lot of hate.
Yeah, but it kind of, they never killed it, so it's still there. So people who are super competitive and have really low self-esteem, they hate it because people go there to hide.
Right.
So, like, that's three
Like
less people
PCC.
that they beat at a match because there's another division that they're not in.
But those are the guys that complain about high overall, too. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's cool. You started out in limited. So Tim, pretty early on, Tim decided to be an open shooter from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Most people have to convert to open
Yeah,
for
I
one
find that
reason
too.
or another. So Tim's kind of
Do you
an
convert
anomaly.
people? Or
I try.
yeah?
I try,
You're
but
like,
I
"Come
warn
play with
people.
me, this is fun"?
See, the thing about open is everyone always wants to be an open, but in order to really be an open shooter, there's a level of commitment that's required.
That's absolutely true.
And,
So
and
AMax has said this on the podcast recently. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's a completely different game,
it is.
right? It's not the same game as when you're shooting TAC Ops or Limited.
You watch so many people move from TAC Ops to open, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to move way up the rankings because now I got this faster gear, but they forget the rest of us got that faster gear too.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I like it. I like to go fast.
Yep.
The speed part is just an absolute blast. Early on, yeah, I bought my first open gun right away. Jumped into open. For a long time, I had an open gun and no rifle or shotgun. Probably, I don't know how many people there are in the world that do that, but I did things backwards.
You still had to get it a piece at a time.
Yep.
It's like Johnny Cash.
But there's a lot of, that's the other thing people don't realize about open too is like a lot of the chains from TAC Optics came off, but at the same time, there's a lot of new stuff that you're not used to using as well. I mean, bipods, different sizes of bipods, bags, different sizes of bags.
The bag thing threw me. Like when we shot that sniper match, and you you're like, yeah, choose whatever bag you want. I'm like, Why are there different bags? Like, isn't there a bag?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we be using a bag?
Yeah.
It's a fine line, too, because all of a sudden you've got all this extra equipment, but you shouldn't necessarily use all this extra equipment. I mean,
exactly.
More crutches, right?
you watch a new open shooter roll up, and they're trying to use multiple bags and the bipod, and they're sitting there for 20 seconds trying to get their position just right. And then the dude from TAC rolls up and monopods on his 40-round PMag and hits the target on the first shot.
Yeah.
It's like, well, clearly you didn't need all that extra gear.
Yeah.
And you just wasted a bunch of time.
Yep.
Well, this other dude with, or even better, when a limited shooter rolls up and hits that steel on the first time, comes up with his red dot, his monopod, and you're sitting there fiddling with your bags, and he's already gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the strategy that goes into it with the guys like looping it in their belt, because then it's on their person, and then like now they're walking up to the stage and it's like banging their legs and stuff.
There is a big difference in open between a match that forces you to carry all your gear on you and a match that lets you stage gear. Like if we revert back to the Ironman, I know that's been a popular topic for you today.
Yeah.
But where you could
We
stage
only talked
your
about
gear.
it one time.
One time. You could stage your gear. That changes everything, especially with shotgun mags. Man, you're strapping those things all over your place. If you can stage your gear, it's a totally different experience in open versus toting it all on the body.
So have you ever shot any other divisions, TAC Ops or Limited or anything?
Nope.
Nope. Any desire to?
Nope. I mean, I shot just pistol for about 5 years.
Okay. Okay. So this is
so a
interesting.
long time.
You're the one USPSA shooter that we got to shoot 3-gun, because we keep hearing there's all these people that are going to do it.
I got converted.
Yeah.
It was all pistol one gun. I was going to USPSA Nationals, shooting Area 1.
Did you like it?
Earned my Grand Master card. I had a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it. But I was curious about trying other guns, trying a rifle, trying a shotgun.
Why?
Well, we had some people locally that kept telling me how much fun it was, and they insisted that three times the guns was 3 times the fun. And eventually one of them twisted my arm hard enough. He said, you don't need to buy anything. You just bring your open pistol and you come on out and I'll supply a rifle, I'll supply a shotgun. Made a complete fool of myself, but had a blast.
Yeah.
Had an absolute blast. It was an open shotgun, had a red dot on it, but it was one of those tube loaders.
Oh, yeah.
I got about a 15-second lesson on how to use a tube loader, and then they sent me to the line and clicked the buzzer, and I think I sent more shells on the ground than into the gun, but but it was a good time.
Those things look easy from, like, I don't know, 100 yards away, but I've seen dudes fiddle with those so many times that they can't possibly be that easy.
The guy demoed it. It looked easy. I assumed I could do it too until the buzzer went off, and I was lucky to get about 2 shells per loader.
Oh,
in the
no
gun.
kidding.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Wow.
But everyone was chuckling because I'm limping through the shotgun portion of the stage. I finally get rid of the shotgun. I pull my pistol out, and it's like gas pedal hits the floor, right?
Yeah.
Dude looks like he's never shot before in his life, and then he gets the pistol. It's like, I'm at home now. I can do this.
Open gun and wide open IPSC.
Yes, sir.
No
Yep.
kidding. Yeah, and you don't need to aim for the A zone. You just throw them anywhere.
That's
Just
yep.
squirt them all over the place.
Though I shot so much USPSA pistol that I have a hard time letting go. I shoot a way too high alpha count for a true 3-gunner.
Mm-hmm. Do you shoot USPSA at all now?
Some, very little. I'll shoot 3 to 5 USPSA matches a year locally.
Okay. No area matches or.
Haven't gone to an area match in a while. If I'm going to travel, I'd rather travel to a 3-gun match.
Got it.
I have been being that guy experimenting with the PCC. So if I'm shooting a USPSA match today, it's probably behind a 9mm carbine.
Nice.
But just have more fun shooting multi-gun. You're shooting for longer. You're shooting more.
Mm-hmm.
And then the people seem to be a little more relaxed. At the top of the USPSA one-gun game, it started to become not as fun. People were a little too intense, weren't as maybe friendly about stage plans, discussions, and then it gets to the point where 1 or 2 steps is what it's all about, and it kind of loses some of the shooting and is as much about the movement. 3-gun, especially big 3-gun matches, you can run the wrong place a little bit and still do fine. if you waltz up there and hit the long rifle on the first shot, you're going to do great. So a little different ball game, different culture, different vibe.
I've noticed that as well, and that's one of the reasons that I like three guns so much. Is like I wasn't really into. Let me take that back. I wasn't as good at the constant simple ballet of USPSA, and I call it a ballet because like there really is an art to the movement and getting that half step into the right place, but remembering that on the clock and doing those steps on the clock. Whereas three gun, like you can overrun the position and come back, and as long as you do everything else well, you're not that far down.
Yep. One of my buddies was at a USPSA handgun national shooting open. He was sitting in the top 10, real happy with where he was. Going in the last day, he blew by one position, dropped him out of the top 16, and just poof, gone.
That's incredible.
It really is a fine-tuned ballet, as you put it,
Yeah.
compared to, if you go to a major three-gun match, if you run by a position and run back, it's not going to knock you 10 spots down.
No. Well, so so we talked a little bit about the USPSA culture in the area here. So what's the three gun culture like here? In the area, I guess, being Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Tacoma, Bellevue.
Yeah, so it depends on how big of a local you're talking. So in
Sure.
Western Washington, there's a lot of great shooting matches going on. There's a USPSA local match every weekend, depending on where you want to go. They'll get 80, 90, 100, sometimes 120 people just for a regular local match. Three-gun community is not quite that level of thriving. The biggest challenge we have in Western Washington is just with space. So my home range, Marysville, where I'm a match director, we have one bay that goes to 100 yards. The rest of the bays only go to about 25. So it's your hands are kind of tied when you're building the stages at a multi-gun match. Now we'll shrink the targets, try and give them a little bit of challenge.
Right.
But just because you shrink the target, it's not the same as shooting something 400, 500 yards away. The people are really good. A solid attendance for us is in the 30s for a regular weekend. If it's a special match, earlier this year we ran a special memorial match. I think we had 60 people there. They've been experimenting at one of the clubs with some two-gun matches, some pistol caliber carbine, and those have had really high attendance. And then there's a group of multi-gunners, and I don't know if this happens at other areas, but we've lost a small group of multi-gunners to PRS.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much been.
Yeah, I think that's happened too. It didn't really happen so much in Colorado because we didn't really have the areas to shoot,
Okay.
and then the precision culture was more of like a adventure sniper challenge kind of thing. It wasn't like y'all just go up and pull your trucks up to one line and shoot really fucking far away. It was like you got to hike to those areas so that they're, in remote areas as well. So those people just kind of stuck with it, right? I'm not really sure about Texas because I'm new there, but there is a thriving precision culture, like really thriving. Like some of the matches, they'll get over 100 people for a club match in a one-day club match.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts. And I mean, that just like blows my mind. Also, kind of interesting thought I had recently is I was like, I need to go to one of those club matches and get some reps under my belt, and I felt intimidated, and I was like, that's weird. Like I have no problem traveling halfway across the country to go to a three-gun match, but it's that old feeling again of like I don't know what to do, what to expect. I don't want to be the guy that everyone's looking at, and I'm like, I get it now. It's cool to feel that again. Like things are new.
Yep.
Yeah. That reminds me a lot of the people I talk to through the show. I'll get emails from people and like, someday I'm gonna shoot three gun. I'm like, no, do it tomorrow. But now I understand again.
Yeah, that first step can be intimidating.
I can. Well, you're a match director. How do you get new people coming into your matches?
We do.
How do you onboard them?
We do. For us, most of them are people that have been heavily arm twisted, let's say, and convinced that
Yeah.
this is going to be, you like USPSA, this is going to be even more fun.
If
This
you-
is your chance to
I think you have
to
a
shoot.
better opportunity if you got a buddy that's bringing you in.
It definitely helps. We don't see very many new shooters that don't know anyone,
Okay.
right? So normally they either shoot with me or some of the other guys at local matches, and we've encouraged them to try it, or they've got a friend that's done it. We'll bring them in. We encourage them to come out to our setup day, give them a safety check, try and talk through everything with them, make sure they're feeling as comfortable as one can feel. And then when we generate our squads, depending on how many people showed up that day, I'll try and split the new guys up and make sure there's some good quality veteran shooters
Mhm.
in the squad. And you guys can probably speak to this too, but just because you're a veteran shooter doesn't mean you're a good shooter for a new person to be paired
Yeah.
with.
Doesn't mean you're like a good ambassador. Like, you can be a really good race car driver and also an asshole.
Exactly. And it's not
Yeah.
necessarily that person is a great teacher. They're just somebody that's going to kind of look out for the new person.
Like good squad mate, right?
Be a good squad mate, and also kind of teach them the ropes. Like, hey, you don't get to sit in that back corner while the rest of us
Yeah.
are taping all the targets.
Mhm.
This is how this works. You come down with us. You help us reset. When
Mhm.
you're about to shoot, you get your time to make yourself ready and do your thing. Once we get them, they tend to stick.
What do you think?
But you'd
makes
like
it
to see more.
What do you think it makes it sticky?
I think it's just fun.
Yeah.
I
You think it's
fun.
just the fun, or do you think that your match provides anything they're not getting somewhere else?
I don't think I'm that special. I mean,
Well, what about
you're
your guys? Like
if you're
your-
comparing my multi-gun match to the USPSA one-gun match, then yeah, I got 2 more guns that
Yeah.
can come out and shoot. Though sometimes that might be a negative. When I'm encouraging somebody to come out, the most common thing I'll hear is, "I don't have a shotgun. I'm not ready to
Mhm.
buy a shotgun." It seems like the shotgun's the biggest turnoff, and getting through that hurdle is the biggest challenge.
Yeah, I hear that a lot too. And then when we provide like 2-gun opportunities, the only people that shoot 2-gun that I've seen are the people that are finding another division to hide in.
Okay.
Yeah, like we looked at the results of Wyoming Governor's match last year, right?
Yep.
The top 10, there was one name we didn't recognize as being primarily a 3-gunner.
Okay.
So that part, like, do you guys run UML rules?
No.
No, do you run like USPSA or
So
modified USPSA or?
for my home match, the multi-gun division of it is structured through the club as a sub-branch of our USPSA IPSC division.
That's the way it is back in Colorado too,
And
mostly.
we've got some local people that like to run UML. I'm completely okay with that, but they are going to have to be the one that goes and drives that with the board. I don't have energy. I don't have energy for that. So we're officially an outlaw match, so I can kind of do what I want. So for example, when 2x4 came out, everyone wanted to try 2x4. Yeah, we're running under kind of USPSA rule set for safety, but I'll say we're outlaw. Go ahead and shoot your 2x4.
Sure.
And have a good time.
That was where my question was going to go. Was have you tried any 2-gun divisions? Like, hey, I don't have a shotgun. Well, cool. Come out and we'll make the stages 2-gun friendly.
So locally, one of the other clubs has tried just a 2-gun match, and that was very successful.
Oh, really?
Now, it was on a 5th Sunday, so there was no other local matches competing against it, but they were breaking 100 shooters.
Oh, wow.
With pistol caliber carbine
That's awesome.
and pistols. That was really exciting. They've run 2 of those this year, and both of them have been a big success.
That's great.
In past years, there was also a rifle pistol match locally that one of the local businesses ran to raise money for Mission 22.
Mm-hmm.
And that had always sold out as well. People were really excited to go shoot that. I don't remember their exact head count. I want to say they were running 2 days, and they were over 100 for shooters too. So locally at Marysville, we haven't really gone just the 2-gun route, but we're going to try that next month.
Okay.
We ran a shotgun only match earlier this year. So we're going to balance things out and run a pistol rifle match.
Nice.
We'll see what happens, see if people like it.
Nice.
As a match director, I want people to want to come shoot, and I want them to have fun, and so a little bit of experimenting to see if mixing it up raises the head count or mixing it up makes it more fun.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens.
Yeah, and that's what I like when I hear match directors like you, like, what can we do to make this more fun? What can we do to get more people involved? I love hearing that rather than the, well, this is how we're going to do it. If you don't like it, you can go on, you know. With all the match directors in Colorado were pretty cool like that, where, you know, someone had the idea of like, well, let's run an AK only match to prepare for Red October.
Sure.
And so they had an AK only match, you know, and like 30 dudes showed up. The next year they were like, well, what if we just called it a carbine match and have an AR division? Now 80 dudes show up, you know, and like having that kind of flexibility for people like wanting to try new things, I think is cool.
I really agree with that. I got kind of conned into becoming the match director at Marysville, the person that had kind of reawoken multi-gun at Marysville is the one that twisted my arm into trying multi-gun for the first time, and was a good friend. And when he passed away, I felt like the most important thing I could do to kind of honor his memory was to keep it going.
Yeah.
But it has always been, it's multi-gun. We're going to mostly have stages with all the guns on them, one match a month during the good weather months. And lately, the idea of mixing it up more. Earlier this year, we ran a two-man team match that people really enjoyed. We ran a shotgun-only match people really enjoyed. So I'm starting to think the more we mix it up, maybe the better it'll be.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Like so there's all these like different concepts at major matches that we like to play with, but not a lot of guys get out from their club matches. Or I guess like a small percentage of people in a club match will get out to a major match, right? So bringing that like concept, like you shot the High Desert Team Challenge, right?
The High Desert Championship.
Isn't there a team match that was done there too?
Yeah, so there's both. So Parma, which people would remember as the Ironman range. Aaron Goodfellow does a great job of running two big multi-gun matches there a year. One of them is the High Desert Championship, and that's a solo match. You shoot that by yourself.
And that was like a month ago, right?
Yep, that was in June.
And there was some guy you know that won, right?
I heard he's an okay dude. But Adam Reiser won TAC, and Evan was chasing right behind him.
Right. One of your teammates, right?
Yep. And it was a lot of fun shooting the match with them. So the cool thing about that match is it's not just a 3-gun match.
Not gonna say it.
It's a 4-gun match.
Oh, really?
If you want to win that match,
because the precision.
If you want to win that match, you better be able to clear the bonus targets, and the bonus targets will be 400 to 1,000 yards away, and you're allowed a second rifle for them.
Who won open division?
Some Tim dude.
There it is.
I don't know.
Congratulations, Tim.
He's a dick.
Right? Nobody likes that guy.
Very humble.
Nobody likes that guy. Yeah, I had a blast shooting it. It was actually 3 years ago. It was the first kind of regional match that I was able to win. And last year I missed it while I was on my honeymoon, and this year it was fun to go back and shoot it.
Nice.
But then Aaron does an even more fun match later in the year. It's called the team match. It's a 3-man team match. And when he first was doing it, it was just a 1-day match. It's grown to be a 2-day match now.
Cool.
And rally stages and melee stages, it's as much fun as you can get.
Yeah, and so that's what I was getting at, is like bringing that concept home to your home range. I think is really cool.
Yeah, people really seem to enjoy it. It's a very different vibe. I mean, we shoot a lot by ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And even though you're with other people, there's a big difference between when you step to the line and it's just your score on the line versus when you step to the line, your buddy's standing next to you, and it's like, I don't want to let my buddy down.
Yeah, for sure.
Adds a whole nother element to it.
Or you absolutely crush a stage, and they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awkward.
So you tagged out, and then you just watch them have, like, some huge malfunction or something. It's like,
yeah, or go to war on, like, a skinny Sammy.
Yeah. The emotional
bro.
roller coaster is completely
Yeah.
different in a team
And
match.
it's out of your hands. And you're just watching it happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if you're a good teammate, you should be right there behind him, coaching him through it or running him a second gun that actually runs.
There you go.
You got to
If
be
you can
there
do that,
for him.
sure.
If it's a melee stage, then it's fun because it's like, well, now it's a race to see who gets to shoot more of the targets.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are always a good time. Yeah. Melee stages are fun.
That's as much fun as you have shooting.
Yeah. Yeah, they did those at the Rockcastle Team Challenge, and yeah, that was cool when you get to figure out who's the better pistol shooter or who's the better shotgun shooter.
Yep.
When you've never done one before, the first time it's a little like mind-blowing, a little overwhelming.
Mhm.
Wait, I can stage multiple shotguns, multiple rifles. I can do what? But then once you kind of figure it out, it's like, this is awesome.
Yeah, and you have to like go into like hyper gamer mode because there's like so many different options.
Yes.
Yeah. Adam just brightened up when I said hyper gamer.
Well, I was just thinking like there's all the tools in your toy box that you don't think about.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
now you can play with someone else's toys.
It's like, oh, I can have more shotguns. Well, if I can have more shotguns, then I can have specialized shotguns. Or, you know,
yeah,
it's
like you can
oh,
put
how
certain
many,
choke in this one and a certain choke in that
I mean,
one.
how many ARs do you have? All of a sudden, oh, this AR that isn't really useful for anything else, well, it just happens to be the perfect thing today.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, like the golf cart stage of Rockcastle in the
Mhm.
team match. It's like that's 1X. You know, that's Huey with a shorty.
Yep.
You know, shortest rifle you have with a Huey on it.
Yep, you're
Go-
a pretty
go to
smart
town.
guy for having one of those that day.
Exactly.
You know,
Absolutely.
same thing with like a big coyote rifle on something like that High Desert Championships. Like all of a sudden, oh yeah, it was kind of a smart idea to throw in that 20-inch barrel, you know, with the 3 to 15 or something on it. You know, 'cause
Yep.
it just happened to be the right thing.
Oh,
You
definitely.
know, when you didn't have to commit to a rifle that has to do it all okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And then you get gaming around, well, if there's a ton of targets, do I really want to heat my rifle up that much, or should I switch rifles in the middle?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yep.
I mean, you can take it as far as you can take that gaming as far as you want.
Yeah, no kidding.
If it's a relay stage and you decide you're going to switch rifles, are you even switching the rifles, or do you have your teammate standing next to you switching? You just lay there and he
Mhm.
drops the new rifle in for you, and your other teammate clears the old rifle.
Dude, that's a good idea.
Yeah, game
Damn,
that thing.
you
man.
are a super gamer. What's Tim? We talk about 3-gun being like regional, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you are about as far away from me as you can possibly get and still shoot 3-gun in the United States. I'm in Texas now. What matches do you go to on like a regular basis? Like in your AO, like do you decide like okay, 6 hours away, I'm going to that match. 8 hours away, 10 hours. Do you have like a little
I'm
window?
glad you asked that because I was going to ask him too. Because like
Yeah.
I always relate things back to power sports, you know, and like in motocross, they have the East Coast Series and the West Coast
Yep.
Series, and a lot of times like those riders don't really compete against each other very often until
Yeah.
they get to another level. So like I mean, Tim, you're a pretty cornerstone West Coast guy, but like so what? Yeah, what kind of ground do you cover in a season? What are the big matches that you hit outside of your local area?
Sure, yeah. So for me, if it's a major multi-gun match and it's drivable in a day, I sure want to be there. Obviously, sometimes things come up, family or work comes up, and you can't make it, but I try and make all those. So for me, that means Northwest Multi-Gun Challenge would be a match a lot of people have heard of. It's been run in Bend for a long time. Really well done. And then Aaron's matches in Parma, Idaho are always on the docket. I try and make it down to Vegas at least once a year. Last year I shot Surefire for the first time and had an absolute blast. Definitely planning to go there again this year.
Sweet. I'm planning on it too.
Really excited. Pete did a great job last year. I've heard he's done a great job for many years. But last year was the first time I'd shot it, and it was a blast. I'd shot a night match before, but it was in Western Washington in December, and it was rather cold and a little bit wet. It's a lot more fun in Vegas. A little bit better weather. Though I did learn some hard lessons right away. Apparently, there's a strobe light feature on my weapon light that I should have disabled. But my squad mates got quite a kick out of me shooting the shotgun portion of a stage with the strobe light on, and then watching me try and grab my pistol out of a dump box with a strobe light going off. And it was apparently some quality entertainment.
Oh, I have a headache just thinking about that.
Right? I don't fly to many 3-gun matches. I am set up to. I've made it. The farthest I've made it is down to Superstition.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good experience last year. I'd like to make it to the East Coast. It just hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot easier, for me at least, when I was just a pistol shooter.
Yeah.
To get on a plane and fly somewhere. I could fly in Alaska. I could load up my pistol gear, my ammo, and everything in a bag, and be off to the races. But especially as an open multi-gun shooter, trying to get all your guns and all your bags and all your bipods and all your giant shotgun mags into some cases to fly is a little bit of a pain.
Absolutely.
Dude, even with TAC, it's like a pain in the butt to do that. I can't even imagine with open.
And then once you're past the gear, the ammo is so specialized. Like, it's not like you can just go necessarily buy factory ammo when you get there.
That's a good point.
So now
With
you're
open
having
gear.
to ship all your ammo. So, for example, I'm that guy still shooting 38 Super Comp as a
You're
remnant.
that one guy.
Probably the only guy to my knowledge. Still shooting major power factor 38 Super Comp. It's a holdover from my USPSA 1-gun days. I can't just go buy that ammo at Walmart when I get somewhere. So you're shipping that. MagFed gun likes a certain type of shotgun ammo, so you're shipping that. And then you're worried about it getting there in one piece. When I flew to Superstition last year, I split my ammo into 2 boxes and shipped it in 2 boxes. Figured there'd be better odds that it would
That's
get
a
there.
really good idea.
Get there in one piece. And it was a good thing. One box looked like it'd been ran over by a semi-truck. There was literally a 223 round with a 90-degree bend in the middle of it. I don't know how they did this, but they completely destroyed one box. The other box was pristine. Looked like it hadn't even been shipped anywhere. Anyways, for me, that's, I guess, the limiter on the big travel is it's a lot of extra work.
Yeah.
I'm
much more preferred driving.
Yes.
And I mean, number one, I can take my dog, and that reduces my cost a lot, so I don't have to board him.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's kind of expensive boarding a dog. Not nearly as much as boarding a child, but I don't have one of those, so I don't worry about that. But then I can bring much more. And with the podcast, video gear, like, it gets to be a lot of shit. I mean, it's not nearly as much as, an open shooter or something like that. But just coming out here, I checked the whole suitcase for, 4 days we're here because of extra podcast stuff and video equipment and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I like to drive myself, but it's definitely kind of fun flying to matches and trying to pare it down to just the bare minimum you need.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge to think through. Okay, what do I really need? What can serve multiple purposes?
Yeah,
and then you always dread getting there and finding out that one thing you didn't think was important was the game changer on stage 10, right?
Yes, yes,
that'll happen.
But I don't know. Do you think there's a large number of 3-gunners that are flying
No.
a lot? It doesn't.
No.
It definitely seems like it's more of a 1-gun thing to fly to matches.
Yeah, well, there are people flying to matches, but I feel like most of the people that are flying to matches are the same people that are flying to matches.
Yep.
So I'll see them everywhere. Just look at Kyle Litzy. He, strong shooter out west here, right? Do you know Kyle?
I know the name. I don't know him personally.
Okay, so he shoots in California, Arizona, Utah, etc. And he went to the Vortex Shooter Source 3-gun championship and won TAC Ops, cleaned up, and blew everyone's mind because no one had ever heard of him before. So, everyone's like, who's this guy? And I've had conversations with shooters in Texas where, they're talking about rankings and stuff, and I'm like, well, do you think you're a better shooter than Scott Green? And they're like, well, who's Scott Green?
Right.
He's so hot right now. How do you not know who he is?
First off, apparently you never listened to the effing Three Gun Show.
Thought we were friends.
Thought we were friends. Second, it's like if you don't know who that is, like you can't put yourself in the top 10, because
Maybe you're the top 10 in Texas.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. And so yeah, I do feel like super hyper regionalized. And I think we're going to see even more of that because there's no national sort of series like Three Gun Nation was. There's nothing to strive for. So I think we're going to go back to being compartmentalized and Hot Pockets, which now knowing that, it's like, there's the reason I want to talk to you. Like I want to have you on the show and talk about things that you do up here because like I don't get to this area of the country and shoot, but I want to shine a light on it because there's obviously cool stuff happening up here. There's great shooters. And so I feel like it's important to expose the rest of the world or the rest of the shooting world to what's going on in other places.
It's interesting how Three Gun's kind of been compartmentalized. That if you want to compare Three Gun to USPSA, that's maybe the thing I miss most about just the USPSA One Gun. One of my favorite memories from that was I shot a Nationals in St. George, and now the trend has been to hold multiple Nationals, but that year there was just one Nationals. Pick your division. Sorry, you ain't shooting multiple divisions, trying to get multiple titles. Just pick one division. Everyone that's anyone was there. They must have had 700-800 people there. But it's cool because everyone was there. And so anyone that thought they were somebody was going to be competing head-to-head that weekend. And that was really a great experience.
It would be nice if we had that in Three Gun, but we don't.
No, Three Guns really seemed, and maybe it's not like this in other parts of the country, but you just don't get that number at a big match.
And I think a lot of what that is the outlaw nature of Three Gun, and like the type of people that are attracted to Three Gun don't want to be told what to do, and we kind of shirk off sanctioning bodies and stuff. And even recently, there was like a thread on one of the Facebook groups about do we need a sanctioning body, and all these people chime in with no, and not even wanting to have a conversation about why that would be a good thing. And I think one of those reasons why it would be a good thing is like what you're talking about, like 700 people in a match that absolutely matters.
Yeah, it would be, as an open shooter, I think it'd be awesome if actually the 100 best open shooters in the country that thought they were the best, all showed up at one match. Be cool to see how you stack up against these people. It'd also be cool just to meet them.
Yeah.
See people have different, because now we're in these pockets. Maybe there's one area that's got kind of a cool invention or a cool strategy about something that we haven't seen up here, or vice versa. So there's kind of a sharing, a learning, a growing that goes when you put the whole pot together. Yeah.
It's like when we started doing the IPSC shotgun games again. That's when twins and quads came to the U.S.
Okay, yeah.
That's like a small example of the cross-pollination. Like, that's when the cool shit happens, is when we get together like that. And again, then we know who the best is.
Yep.
Because you can be a big fish in a small pond, and if you never put all those big, those, quote, big fish together in the same pond, you never find out who's the biggest fish.
Yep, for sure. I also think we're a little bit of a victim of our own success, right? I mean, if there was only 5 major three-gun matches in the country, then everyone would attend those, right?
Yeah, there's that too.
So it's a great thing that each region's got 5 to 10 major regional three-gun matches, and so everyone gets to attend those. That's awesome.
Right.
But then it's also like, as me, the shooter, well, if I'm going to take time off work and travel to matches, I'd go to the easy ones. I'm not going to go to a far one, or if I choose to go to a far one, maybe you guys don't choose to go to that far one, so we end up kind of.
And then what if they put so take a Texas Three Gun Championship for example. It's a great match. I really like it. It's in March. Last year it was on the same weekend as Superstition, and that just split up the amount of people that would have gone to both.
Sure.
And so it made it difficult, and there's competition, right? So like in car dealerships, you don't put like Burt Chevrolet next to Stevenson Chevrolet, right? Because they're going to cannibalize each other's business, right? And in Three Gun, there's no one saying there's no Chevrolet saying you can't put those two dealerships next to each other. So just anyone creates a match, and then it's an air quotes major match. We're making a major match.
Sure.
There's no level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And then now there's another match on the schedule that is going to suck shooters from another area. And then we never get the masses together like they do in one-gun games.
And it's tough, too, because even if they're not on the same weekend, your average shooter, even your pro shooter, most of the quote-unquote, air quote, pro shooters aren't actually making their living off traveling to matches and shooting. They have real jobs, other commitments, right?
Dude, even I have, like, finite resources. I cannot go to everything.
So if there's 2 matches and, yeah, they're not on the same weekend, but they're back-to-back weekends or sometimes even the same month, it's just becomes too much. I mean, I can't speak for other shooters.
Captain, how many you can do a year?
Yep.
Even if you could go back-to-back weekends, you can only do 6 or whatever your number is.
How much vacation time do you have? How much time can you negotiate away from your family? How much ammunition can you purchase? You know, there's all kinds of constraints that we all have to deal with.
These are all real numbers, even for pro shooters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think sometimes people don't realize that they'll see, like locally, they might see somebody wearing a jersey and they just assume, oh, you have infinite resources, infinite time to travel, infinite ammo.
It means you have like $48 to buy a jersey.
Yeah. Right. But
Where'd you
it's
get a $48 jersey.
$84, excuse me.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're talking. Did you just use some iron-ons?
Yeah, that's right.
From a local
I drew them on
Walmart?
myself on a white T-shirt.
You might be onto something there. You might attract some attention. But there's balances that have to be maintained. It needs to remain fun.
Yes.
Speaking for myself, yes, I like to compete at a very high level, but this is something I do for fun first and foremost, and it needs to remain that. And if you squish like too many major matches together, you start to get burned out. It starts to become not fun.
That's
and then
really
what's
true,
the point
man.
of doing it?
I've experienced that myself, man. And honestly, it's a reason I cut down on matches this year, which I had match creep. It's like requirements creep. You're familiar with as an engineer. I tried to do one a month, and it creeped into more than that, which is okay. You know, it's a good problem to have. But you're absolutely right. Like, there is a point where it's just like, this is too much ice cream, and I'm going to vomit. You know, like, I'm having too much fun here. And it's not fun anymore. So.
Yeah, and there's something like, major matches are awesome, but there's something to be said for just rolling up to the local match with your local friends and having a good time on a Sunday and then going home for dinner with the family. Like, there's that's sometimes people kind of poo-poo the local matches, but sometimes I have just as much fun shooting with my buddies, not worried about anything.
Well, the other thing about local matches, there's no stakes, right? And so it's the place to push hard and take chances and try things that you ordinarily wouldn't try and see where the wheels come off, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've really enjoyed about them recently.
I mean, stakes come into it, and you hear people talk about, oh, well, I want to go to the matches with the big prize tables or whatever, but, I mean, if your only goal is to pick matches with the biggest prize table, I kind of think your head's in the wrong space.
Yeah.
Like,
go play the lottery.
Where are the big prize tables? That's the next question.
Right, right. Like,
They died with the dinosaurs.
I mean, you want to talk about the time and account for your time and money that you put in, not just the travel costs for that weekend, but all the time you spent training, all the ammo you spent training. You're not coming out ahead.
Yeah.
The prizes are awesome, but you're not going to make a living off them. So
no. I mean, it's cool to have cool stuff, but again, it's like you can't eat cool stuff, can't pay your mortgage with cool stuff. So, all right, guys, looks like the show's wrapping up in AMax tonight. Are gonna have to go stow some optics here, but before we do that, let's play a little game. What do we call it? What can go?
What needs to die?
What needs to die?
In the shooting world.
What needs to die in the shooting world? I got one here that I hear way too much now. I'm going to blame Mr. Grand Thumb. Is Gucci Glock, Gucci rifle, Gucci hardware, Gucci body armor. I heard it 3 times on the way to the bathroom here. It's like, I'm done with that one. Let's think of another cool name. That one can go.
I agree, because it kind of marginalizes improvement, because a lot of times they're talking about like performance enhancements of existing platforms,
Right.
and it's like, well, so did you want to go back to your issue M4?
With carry handle.
Yeah, it was like, or do you want a better barrel?
Yep.
Did you want an improved operating system? Did you
Better
want an
trigger.
improved trigger? Like, that's where it was kind of, and it's kind of interesting because my colleague John was saying he went to an instructor pistol class, and it said to bring your duty gun. Bring a defensive gun or duty gun, no race guns.
Oh, right.
Okay, so he showed up with one of our demo guns, which is about as bone stock of a Glock Gen 4 as you can get, and had a red dot on it. But everyone there had Zev, Agency, Jaeger Works, like
With-
tricked out Glocks with comps
and
and magwells.
Yeah,
and
duty
red
guns.
dots.
How far away from a 2011 is that, like, for a defensive class?
It's basically the element that your frame's made out of.
Yeah.
So it's like what?
Element.
Gucci.
Plastic is
It's
an
like-
element.
And it's like, well, but if that stuff's really enhancing the gun, like, isn't that the point of the gun? Do we want this gun?
Don't we want to enhance the gun?
Yeah. So I think it kind of marginalized. Yeah, so that Gucci thing, that
What do you
can
think?
go away.
I think Gucci can go away.
I think so.
Like, I like Gucci shit. Like, I like Gucci gear, but I think the term Gucci is like, meh. I've heard it too much.
it is interesting too. Some people get so carried away down that end, and then they're like, "Wait, I spent how much turning
Yeah.
this into
Yeah.
that? I could have just bought the fancier something else to begin
Right.
with, and I would have spent less money and had something better."
Yep.
And to piggyback on that, I think the whole for the pores thing can die too.
Yeah.
Like, what about us pores? Or I always hate that.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
It's like, a lot of my expensive guns I bought with a blue collar and grease under my fingernails too.
Yep.
So it's like
There is such thing as saving
it's
your
just
money
It's just a freaking excuse.
and buying good stuff.
That's a really good one. Totally agree with that. Plus, it's like if you're shooting matches for fun on a weekend, you're probably not running
Mhm.
that hard on money.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but and then at the same time, you're also kind of making it like an elitist thing. Like, don't
Yeah.
we want more people to be involved in it?
Of course we do.
If you self-identify as a not affluent person, do we want them to feel like they're not welcome? Because so that whole lately, I see where it came from. Like, it came as a joke, but like it got
Right.
too. It's not
HK
funny.
joke, right?
It's not funny anymore.
All right, Tim, what do you got?
I would like to see, we were talking about earlier, multi-gun is so spread thin.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see it come back together.
I would like to see that as well.
I'd like to see a little, and even if it's not united under one rule set or something, if there was maybe like one big match or one big
Mhm.
series of matches a year where you knew you were going to see top-of-the-line competition,
Yep.
that would be fun.
Yeah, be nice to really see a league that would unite multi-gun.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. I'm not sure that's
I'm not sure that they've done it, but
Yeah.
I would like to see.
I hope they have, and I hope I'm wrong.
I want to see the thing that Tim was talking about with 700 people show up at one.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a range that can hold 700 three-gunners in one weekend, but like
Rockcastle does with the Pro-Am. Unfortunately, it's 2 matches, which
Yeah.
is meh. I don't know
But
if
like,
that's
it'd be nice to see matches that could really draw all of the heat.
yeah.
You
Show
know.
me 300.
Yeah.
If we hit 300, we'll know we're there.
It'd be cool, too, if we maybe to help that the divisions, like, I don't need there to be 15 divisions. It's almost maybe even a one-division thing or a two-division thing,
Yeah.
open
Mhm.
and tech.
Gosh, who was that? It might have been James Gill. I don't know. Someone said this recently. This is not my original idea, but a match where we only shoot tack. We only shoot open. We only shoot limited, whatever it is.
Kind of like USPSA does.
Exactly.
Single stack
just like,
classic.
Just like you were talking about.
Yep.
But that could be cool. I think the diluting of divisions isn't good. 2-gun is a great idea for club matches, but for majors, I think it's a good place for also ran tack shooters to hide.
Do you think more people...
There, I said it. Take that.
Do you think more people go to a major match because they can shoot those other divisions, or do you think
No.
people just move?
I think
To
they
the
moved
lesser-
to find a trophy.
Because I get it at like a local level. If you really think you're going to get 10 more shooters if you open up
Yeah.
another division, then great,
Well,
go
I
for
mean,
it. But
and maybe you're going to introduce some people that don't have a shotgun yet or wouldn't buy a shotgun, Like, I'll be honest, man, like, I didn't really care that much when I went out to shoot my first match I shot, my 18-inch pop shotgun, it did not bother me. Some people that really bothers, right? But I wanted to shoot the AR and I wanted to shoot the pistol. If they had a 2-gun division, I would have just shot that. But I like 3-gun. I like the shotgun. And 2-gun and PCC changed the game to an undesirable place, and I don't like that.
If you had started with just 2-gun, would you ever have left 2-gun?
That's a good question, man. I don't know. I think eventually someone would have let me borrow their FN SLP, which was the hot shit at the time, and I would have shot a stage and thought, oh, this is kind of cool, Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to go back and
yeah,
and
exactly. It's hard
wonder.
to second guess that stuff. But yeah, I mean that's a really good question. But I will say that after a couple of matches of shooting 3-gun with that pump shotgun, I went out and bought a semi-auto shotgun.
Okay.
That's how much I was committed to playing the game. So
Shotgun seems like a love-hate thing. It's either the most awesome thing in the world and
very polarizing.
you love it,
yeah.
or it is the devil and you don't want to touch it.
The people that don't like it haven't tried it. Do you know
Could be.
anyone that shoots 3-gun on a regular basis is like, wow, I just don't like this shotgun. This $2,200 shotgun that I have here with this titanium nitride bolt and this carbon fiber tube that I paid an arm and a leg for and I have to keep really clean, I don't like it. Do you know anyone that says that?
Josh Wakamatsu.
And he's one of the people that went and hid in 2-gun. Sorry, Josh.
Sorry, Josh.
Love you.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the only counter I'd have to that is it is nice to keep shotgun doing what shotguns do.
Yeah.
I mean, you see some small slug targets a long ways away. I get that that's a way to separate the competitors.
Do you want to go around again or we want to go around backwards?
Oh,
Sounds like you got
man.
another one.
Yeah, you
What
want
else?
to get rid of.
I don't
Let's
wanna
go
go-
backwards.
All right,
wanna
let's
go
go
down that
back
one.
around. Let's get rid of all of the targets for shotgun that shouldn't actually be shot with a shotgun. They should be shot with a rifle.
Yeah. As Patrick Kelly says, I have another gun in my arsenal that is way better at this than the shotgun is.
Or make it optional. And so if I want, I
Yeah.
can run over there with my rifle and shoot it. But a shotgun's not a rifle. Shotgun's a shotgun. Let
Mhm.
it do what shotgun things do.
Yeah. If you have to make a full-size IPSC target at 100 yards for someone to be able to actually hit that target, that might be a gun that's not very accurate and maybe not good for that distance. AMax shooting.
I disagree.
I mean, I like shooting slugs because they're a good differentiator because most people suck at them.
Yep.
But it is not the right tool for the job.
Especially at a local match, the second I start putting 100-yard slugs out there, I get more complaints from the beginner to average shooter than anything else.
Well, that makes me want to do it more. But I think challenging slug shots as a function of 2% of the shotgun shots you'll take in a match, I think that's all right.
Yeah. And they really are 2% of the shotgun
Yeah.
shots you'll
It's
take in
when
a
they
match.
get to be more than that.
Dude, we
that-
shot 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slugs on paper on one stage,
Mm-hmm.
and they were about 20 yards.
And I would go the opposite
I hate
way.
slugs on paper.
See,
Because it doesn't make the dong.
Yeah, it's slugs are fun when you throw it out there and it makes the big gong noise,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a freaking mallet that you threw through the air. At the same time, I'm almost not mad at hard shotgun shots. I'm mad at the ones that we didn't have to shoot with a 3-yard slug shot on paper. It's I didn't need to shoot a $2 slug at
I'm
that piece
wasting
of paper.
my ammo.
You know,
at this
somebody
point.
thought it was fun, but we had a string like that in a match locally where it was 10 slugs on paper inside of 7 yards.
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom. I mean, I was like, all right, but it was this is a major match. You could have done something that was just as fun.
We had that recently, and I had a box of Fiocchi with me, which is my usual slug load for my shotgun. And I was thinking, I got a box of random ass shit I picked up off the ground at the last match.
Did you Skittles pack the slug stage?
I should have, but it was at home because I thought that I would have been able, or that I needed my Fiocchis. But when I got there, I was like, dang it, I should have brought that random Skittles pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been epic.
It would have been epic. I wish I would have brought it too because it was point and shoot slugs, so it wasn't challenging slug targets. So yeah, that one can go away. AMax, your turn.
All right, things that need to die in the shooting world. gun club politics.
Oh, buddy.
Ooh.
Gun club politics,
I agree.
boards, presenting
Yep.
shit to boards, people who have these like control complexes about what people can and can't do. It's so ironic. We have this group of people like Molinabe, come and take it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Second Amendment rights and all that. Nowhere are you more restricted than a gun range.
Yep.
You will stand on this line. You will shoot this many rounds in this
Mhm.
time interval.
And if we catch a jacket off of steel and
You're
we're
out of
shotgunners,
here.
we're going to cry.
Yeah,
We're going to pretend that we're bleeding.
So all the gun club politics just drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it was even a few good examples of it yesterday at our range day here, because you know we're on a range. It's open to the public. Well, it's not open to the public, but people who aren't
sold tickets to
necessarily
public.
shooters are coming through, shooting stuff that they haven't shot before. Whole bunch of strangers on the line. So this club is like, all right, well, we got to make sure that nothing bad happens. But at the same time, it's like, okay, they were so restrictive to the point where it's like the guns all had to be on the firing line. Okay, annoying, but okay. Well, now you can't have more than one person at the line, or everybody has to be at the same, like within 2 inches. Their muzzles have to be at the same.
Yeah.
Like the bullets don't fly sideways. All right, that guy's
Well,
10 feet away.
And the other thing
know?
about that was, like, we were all shooting the same direction, which
Yeah.
was downrange.
Yep.
And, hey, don't bring us up to the dudes standing in front of the table. Tell that guy to get behind the fucking table.
Yeah.
Don't bring up the entire line for the guys that are standing forward.
Yeah.
Just move that one dude.
But even then, the whole thing doesn't matter, and because that guy has
Oh,
a guy standing right behind
You know what you need is you need a chamber flag too. Please stick this piece of of plastic inside your hot
Yeah.
chamber.
Yeah, it's a hot range. The guns are literally sitting on a table pointed downrange. Oh, we have to put a chamber flag in there too.
Yeah,
It's
for the 2 minutes it takes to get the next shooter up,
Like,
just enough to melt the plastic.
I don't know.
Tim's
It's-
keeping his mouth shut.
It drives me nuts. It's at every range all across the country. Every range has a board. They're all pains in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
It's people who
That
either
said, once the initial warm-up period was over and the ROs had a chance to observe us, they were really cool.
more often than not, but just
Yeah.
on the whole, there's a lot. Every range that's run by a board, it tends to be an old guard who's more interested in the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Well,
than
they have
making
more
fun
time
events.
to be on the board. So
Yep.
they're not the young people that are like, all right, come on, let's do this. Let's get this over with. They have time to sit and contemplate and rule things to death.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
and,
I
rule
just
all the
don't-
fun away.
I don't think that's healthy for the shooting sports
No, I don't think so.
or
either.
the continuation of clubs.
No.
So I'd like to see that go away.
Some of
In the
that's
same vein, like, stop asking ATF for permission on shit. All right? What are they going to say? They're going to say no. Just
Yeah.
don't ask them.
Stop asking if it's okay. Like,
Stop asking
read it
if
and
it's
understand
okay.
it. Maybe ask a lawyer. Stop asking the ATF. That's
Yeah. Those things can die.
it's always going to be no. What's my other thing that can die?
Revolvers.
No.
Revolvers can
No,
die.
that's not true at all. Revolvers can keep going.
How come there's
You're
not
wrong
a,
about that.
How come we haven't created a new multi-gun division for revolvers?
Oh, man.
Oh.
I think PCC's hated. What's more niche and slower than PCC? Revolver.
Yes.
No, I don't think I have anything else. I'll probably think of something later on. I thought I had another one, but I can't remember what it was.
Well, hey, I think listeners who have ideas of things we should discuss that
Yeah.
should die in the shooting sports should post it below.
Yeah, it doesn't even
And
need
we
to be in
can-
the shooting sports. It can be in just gun culture in general.
In the gun culture.
Mm-hmm.
Post them below. We can talk on some of them.
That's right. Where we see this. Tim, where can people find you, man?
People can find me if you're shooting a local match in the Northwest. Come on out and say hi. I'll be wearing a red Rainier Arms jersey. You can find me on Instagram, tim.ramberg. Give me a follow. But yeah, don't be shy. If you see me at a major match, local match, come introduce yourself. It's fun to get to know more people in the industry and in the shooting sports, and
Heck yeah, it is.
talk guns, talk strategy.
Yeah, we're all like-minded. We all like the same stuff.
I don't say this about many people, but Tim is one of the nicest guys in 3 guns.
Is that true?
So, yes.
I don't know.
Oh boy,
We'll
that's
see if he shows up for pizza tonight with his wife.
Yeah.
that's an awful. That's
He's
a
one
lot
of the nicest.
that's a
He
lot
doesn't
of
necessarily
pressure.
like us, but
That's a lot of pressure. You know, it's funny though. Speaking about the niceness thing, I like to say in 3-gun, there's no secrets. There's just hard work. I
That's for
love
sure.
talking through any strategy, any practice with anyone.
Yeah.
Not trying to hide it from you. If you can do it better than me, you can do it better than me. Tip my hat to you.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun. So
Yeah. That's the great thing about 3-gun that I didn't really find in USPSA is the openness and willingness to help, because they know that you still got to put that work in.
Yep.
What's the name of your club match?
I'm match director at Marysville Rifle Club.
Okay.
If you're local on Facebook, there's a USPSA Washington State Shooters group that's pretty thriving. So if you're in Western Washington or even the larger area and you're interested in shooting either one-gun pistol or multi-gun, I'd recommend starting there for information.
Cool. I like it. Adam, any final thoughts? Any questions we want to ask Tim?
nope, I'm good. I think it's been a good talk.
Tim, anything else you want to add?
Thank you guys for having me.
Dude, thanks for being on the show,
Yeah.
man. Appreciate it.
Pleasure
Great to have
talking
you.
with you
sometime.
guys. First
right.
time I've ever been on a podcast.
Really?
There you go.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad we broke your cherry. We'll see you at pizza.
Sounds
All right.
good.